Greetings, my friends. I am known as the Elven Wizard, which is my avatar in the Inner Realms Journey meditation platform. I'll be sharing more about that later on. I'm also known as Aaron Pyne, and thank you so much for checking out this video. Today is Tree Appreciation Day, and I wanted to show my appreciation for trees, my love for trees, and the Tree of Life mythology, which is the foundation for the Inner Realms Journey meditation platform, which I'll be talking about as well, and how that's all centered around the Tree of Life. As I said, it's Tree Appreciation Day, so I love trees. I've loved trees for years. I love being in the forest. The forest is my spot. I love all trees. I love seeing new types of trees. Just the energy, the feeling, their beauty, their majesty, all of it. I just love. And my kind of area of specialties is the meditation with them, the meditation with the Tree of Life concept, and the Tree of Life mythology. So that's what I want to explore in this video of some of the history of it, how you can use it, how I've integrated it into this new Tree of Life kind of Inner Realms Journey meditation platform. I've got some fun show and tell here for you. So let's dive in. So what is the Tree of Life? The Tree of Life, at its simplest concept, is a map of understanding ourselves, our consciousness, the world around us, and the universe at large. Now, I came across the Tree of Life concept, probably first about 20 years ago. And since then have continued to study it and look for clues about it and aspects of it and understanding of it from different religions and cultures around the world. And that's one of the things that's drawn me really to it, besides my love of trees, is that it is found in so many spiritual traditions, mythologies around the world. There's often a tree at the core of many of them. Some mythologies, it's more upfront when we're talking about some of those, and some of it's more kind of in the background, but it's in so many. And of course, humanity's survival and livelihood is deeply tied with trees, from fruit, textiles, lumber, obviously being able to just even breathe oxygen, right? So much of human history is tied with trees. They are our allies and support in so many ways. And, many cultures honored trees in a very deep way, from, Native Americans to ancient Europeans. Many cultures around the world had a deep love and appreciation for trees. Often villages or areas were centered around a tree, particularly large trees. So there's often been this reverence and respect for trees. And, we've lost some of that in modern society. And I feel like we're starting to return to that. More and more people are, finding a deeper connection to nature, and we're realizing that we need we need more trees, right? With everything going on in the world. Now, the Tree of Life concept, like I said, it's been all over the world. And let me just bring up some lovely photos I have for everyone here. Okay, hopefully you can see the screen here. So I'm going to show you some different artworks from different cultures. You can see here's a list of initially 25 cultures that have some form of Tree of Life in their mythology, in their religion. There's many more, of course, in many smaller cultural areas, right? Different tribes and different times in history. There was often a Tree of Life, but here you can see some of the bigger ones that have some sort of Tree of Life concept. And you'll see this image here is more of a modern artwork of the Tree of Life, also known as Yggdrasil, which is the Norse or Northern Scandinavian Tree of Life. One of my favorites is becoming very popular. It's, there's a lot with the Viking culture and Norse culture becoming popular these days in different movies and TV shows and things like that. So that's the Norse Tree of Life. And on that one, and that, like I said, it's a favorite of mine, there's 9 realms, 9 different worlds, and Earth is one of them. Our human life, that's one world on the Tree of Life. The other worlds are filled with gods and goddesses and giants and dwarves and elves and all sorts of magical creatures. and the gods and goddesses journey through these different realms on the tree of life to learn things, to discover wisdom, to discover magic and understanding. But to me, and with all the tree of life mythologies, they represent our own personal journeys, what we all go through in our own unique way, but they sort of provide a template. And that's what this tree of life to me really is. It's a template of our own exploration of who we are, what's within us, what's within our psyche, and how we can begin to integrate it all. How can we connect all the pieces we are? And that's a big piece of this tree of life, is the connection, right? The tree's connected, the roots, the trunk, the branches, it's all interconnected. But they symbolize different aspects of ourselves, which we'll get into in a bit here. All right, so you've also got some other beautiful artworks here. You've got, the tree of life in Africa is very prominent. There's a tree of life in Egyptian mythology. It's not quite as, I haven't seen as much relating to it, right, in the mythology, but there is some images of it in some ancient ruins there. All right, so I'm going to just go through some more artwork, some more images I found, of course, showing the tree of life. Mayans, Native American, the Buddhists, right, have the Bodhi tree, which is where Buddha found enlightenment underneath the Bodhi tree. There's the Garden of Eden, has the tree of life and the tree of good and evil, a tree of knowledge of good and evil. Mesopotamia, it's kind of, I believe this one was Aztec, right? So I believe this one's related to the Mormon faith. So again, just seeing the wide range of this concept of the tree of life from across culture, across the world, across time. Here's some more Islamic. This is again Mesoamerica, Judeo-Christian images. And so I'm going to go back to these. Again, you can find many more searching on the internet. Again, it's all over the world, and even I don't know if there's one on here. There's even some in Asia I found as well. All right, so going back here, this is I'll say more enjoyable, more fun image of the Norse tree of life, called Yggdrasil. If you're familiar with Odin and Loki, Freya, those gods and goddesses are becoming very well known as the Norse culture is, I don't know, vitalized or is becoming popular. So you'll see here in the middle, Midgard, that is our current human experience. That's the world of humanity that we're all in here, which is often seen in the middle of the tree of life. And then you've got these other realms around here, right? And there's the ice realm, there's fire realms, realms of giants, elf realm, that's the realm of the elves, one of my favorites. You have the Bifrost Rainbow Bridge, which is what sort of connects some of the realms, connects Asgard with Midgard. Asgard is sort of not quite like heaven, but sort of this powerful place that, like, the brave and courageous go to after death. It's where Odin lives. And you also see, and you see this in many of the Tree of Life, there's often different animals or magical creatures upon the Tree of Life. There's the great eagle. One of my favorites is the Ratatask, the squirrel upon the Tree of Life that travels the tree. You've got the serpent and the dragon down here. So all of these have mythology and story and meaning around them. And of course, those stories have evolved over the centuries. But again, all of this, to me, actually represents aspects within us. They can be looked at as externalized, kind of cosmic forces. But I also believe they can be applied to what's within us in the journeys we all go through, and the energies and the elements and the parts of our own consciousness that we each explore. And, especially if you are somebody that's willing to explore these deeper parts of yourself, this acts as a guide, right? So this is another well-known one. This is the Tree of Life from what is known as the Kabbalah, a very mystical, esoteric formation. It's often associated with Judaism, but from my understanding, it's kind of goes beyond that and is beyond just Judaism. It's very esoteric. It's very in-depth and precise with these different, basically spheres or different realms here on the Tree of Life. And you have these paths between them that connect them all. And all these things have different associations with Hebrew letters, astrology, tarot, different levels of our minds and our emotions and our spiritual connection, and kind of a similar format. Up here is the higher realms, the celestial, the divine realms, and then down here at the bottom is physical world, physical manifestation, and this is sort of everything in between the above. So again, it maps out consciousness, it maps out life, it maps out levels of our being. Here's another beautiful one from Egypt with this tree here in the background. This was one in near Lake Arrowhead in Southern California in the mountains. I lived up there for a short while, for a few years, and there were the ancient natives that lived there, known as the Yahabatam, were known as the people of the pines, which I love, being a lover of pine trees. There's of course a lot of beautiful pines there, and the pine tree was part of their mythology. It was also part of their survival. They lived off pine nuts and many things from the pine tree. So these were some ancient petroglyphs. This is more of a Judeo-Christian one. I don't say even Judeo-Christian mystical form, right? You've got some astrology aspects in here, but you've got the tree of life forms, sort of an ancient alchemical artwork. Mesopotamia, tree of life concept here, and you kind of get a similar vibe. You get like these different worlds and different levels here, and these sort of divine beings around it interacting with it. Now, of course, the Tree of Life is popping up in a lot of pop culture. In Marvel, this is from the Black Panther, when the Black Panther goes on his sort of sacred journey to the land of the ancestors. All of his ancestors are sitting on this Tree of Life. And as I mentioned, the Tree of Life is a very common concept in throughout Africa. Here you have very similar in Game of Thrones TV show. They have these sort of sacred trees, magical trees. You find it a lot. It's also in some of the history of Lord of the Rings. Many other fantastical, mythical tales have a tree in them, of course. Here's yours truly. This is an awesome tree in New Zealand. There's many there. I got to explore New Zealand in the year 2020, 2021. And there's some amazing, beautiful trees there. I'll be doing another video soon about my New Zealand adventure. But I just wanted to throw these few clips in here. These are some other cool trees in New Zealand. And this one is known as the Lord of the Forest. It has a Maori name, which is the local culture. I'm not going to say it because I'm gonna not say it correctly. It is a massive tree. It was a misty, kind of dark, cloudy day there when I got to go see it, but it is one of the largest trees in New Zealand, and definitely up there and largest in the world. It's an epic, amazing, powerful tree, and just a thick, thick trunk and a big brush up top, but not in this picture, of course. And this is the Tree of Life that I've created. I digitally made this artwork here for my Inner Realms Journey platform, which I'll be getting into in a minute. But let me come back to that. And let's see if we're back on the camera here. Okay, so that's a quick tour of the Tree of Life from some different cultures. And like I said, there's many more. You can do some more research if you'd like. The Tree of Life, going back to the framework, and I've kind of been exploring this, right, is it helps us to understand and map out reality. There's so many different concepts of what is reality, who are we, how does this all sort of fit together between our mind, our emotions, how we grow, what the gifts and what's inside of us, the positive things we've been through, the challenging things we've been through, what we're doing here. We all have these universal concepts that we're navigating and understanding through our life's journey. And I feel like the Tree of Life offers us a really beautiful, holistic, integrative way of understanding the great mystery of life itself. And so throughout cultures, you'll find a similar theme or concept of how this works. Some cultures have little variations and things like that. But what I've kind of gathered in general is there's, of course, the roots of the Tree of Life. This often represents our past. It's what's come before us, before the moment right now. Now, this includes our own personal experiences we've gone through, our own trials and tribulations, and also the resources that we're bringing to the moment. What have we gathered up? Physical resources, energetic, mental, emotional, understanding, wisdom, whatever that is. It's also connected to further back beyond our own personal past, but our ancestry. What has our ancestry and our cultures passed down to us, genetically, emotionally, mentally, right? Patterns, right? So we've all picked up, we've all inherited cultural concepts from our past that we carry with us. Again, the positive and the negative are within us. And so that's also the roots, what's come before us. Um, Obviously, the roots can be sort of have a darker vibe because the roots are underneath the surface, right? They're a little bit unknown. They're not in the light. They can be explored, right? And a lot of the journeys and meditation and stuff, I go into in here in the Inner Realms Journey platform. You get to explore these realms and the roots. Okay. Now, the trunk of the tree of life, that it often represents now or our present experience, what's happening within us right now. In the Norse one, that's Yggdrasil. In the Norse tree, Yggdrasil, you have Midgard or Middle Earth, Earth in the middle, our human life, our human experience. So I often associate the trunk with what we're experiencing right now. It's our present moment, what we're feeling, what we're engaging with, what we're creating in our life, what's sort of happening right now. Now, the branches, that's sort of often you see it's sort of these celestial realms, right? The divine, the sacred. To me, it's sort of like our dreams, our goals, our visions, our highest potential, who we see ourselves. We see ourselves like the best version of ourselves, where we want to go, what we want to create, that paradise version of ourselves and our life. And so these all three have to be interconnected, right? What we've had in the past, where we're at right now, and what's to come. And ideally, these are all synergized, right? They're working together just like a tree, right? The tree needs the roots, and needs the trunk, and needs the branches. They're all weaving together, they're all sort of fueling each other. So that's the core of it, is how do we connect all these levels of ourselves? And that's where a lot of the meditation work, exploring the tree of life, helps as you begin to layer these out or model these out. Now, I've also used the tree of life concept. I also do some business consulting work, and I've mapped out businesses around the tree of life, and I use it for myself, and that really helps me to see all the different pieces of a business, right? If you got your own business, there can be many, many different areas, from marketing and finances and development and all this stuff, right? So the tree of life can help you sort of map it all out. That's something I do for people as well. It gives us this framework to help see all these things and see their connection. And just like a tree, right? Each branch, each root is different, yet there's similarities. There's certain patterns, right? The leaf of, say, an aspen tree, all the leaves have a similar format, a similar structure, yet they're all uniquely different. All the roots are kind of different, but they have a unique, similar structure. So you can see the similarities and how they all interconnect. So that's the basic concept. Now, how do you work with that is generally through an awareness and understanding, like mapping it out. Like I said, you can map out yourself through a tree of life. You can map out your past and your future and where you're at right now. And then the meditation journeys. And so a lot of indigenous cultures use what's called journey work. It's a way of going within the psyche, the unconscious, the superconscious, the spiritual realms, whatever you want to call it, to explore the tree of life. In the Inner Realms Journey platform that I've created, this was inspired by the Tree of Life mythologies I showed you. Yggdrasil is one of my favorites, the Norse one, but a lot of them, and the exploration of these realms. Now, a lot of those ones I showed you, they have, like Yggdrasil, the Norse one, has about 9 realms on it. So I've generally seen 9 to 12 is the common. You'll see some more, some less. This one, what I was kind of felt guided to do was to expand beyond that. At the moment of making this video, I've got about 50 or 60 realms mapped out, and I'll bring up that picture again in a moment. Each of these are their own meditation journey. Each of these realms represent different aspects of our own psyche, represent different energetic frameworks, represent different wisdom, and you can explore these in meditation. in my platform, you create your avatar, which is your mythical self, right? So in the Norse tree of life, you've got all these rich, beautiful stories of gods and goddesses exploring the realms, exploring those worlds, going on different adventures, learning things, gaining magic, gaining treasure, doing heroic deeds. So that's kind of the same framework here. You get to create your own mythical self. Mine, of course, as I mentioned, is the Elven Wizard, and you as your avatar explore these different realms, and you get to learn things and sort of unlock. It's almost like unlocking. If you played a video game, you unlock different levels. Each level has its own landscape, its own characters, its own story, its own treasures, its own experiences. So you get to unlock these different realms on the tree of life and gather understanding about yourself that can then be applied into this life, because this life is kind of in the middle of the tree of life, the earth, right, our human world, yet it's connected to all these. So as you explore these ones, as you open these, the ones in the roots, and this is the logo here, and you'll see I've got different spheres here that represent the different realms, and in the middle is the realm of earth and also our heart in a way. And so as you experience these ones, you are feeding into now. You're bringing them into now. Sorry, it's a little backwards here. You're bringing the energy from those into now. So that's the powerful magic, if you will, the powerful approach to this is being able to explore these realms. And again, they're part of your psyche. They're part of your unconscious. They're part of the, if you want to call them meta dimensions or other worlds, the multiverse, whatever you want to call it. These all connect with here and now. All of it's connected through the tree of life. It's this cosmic interconnected network. So exploring them helps you to empower you in what's happening right now, gives you more energy, more life force, more creativity, more wisdom, more awareness. As you explore these mythical worlds, you bring back awareness to this life and what's happening in this world. And it allows you to have a lot more joy and passion and grace and fun and excitement, and helps you overcome the challenges, because we all are facing many challenges personally and collectively. So this is a powerful tool, a powerful framework to draw forth inner resources to help you navigate what's going on in the world. Now I want to take a little moment to digest all that information for a little show and tell here. I got a few fun things that I showed here. So of course I told you I have a love for pine trees. So I've got a few of my favorite pine cones here. So this was one gifted to me by a friend in Oregon years ago. She was cutting pine cones and polishing them. So this is super cool. You can just see this is, you don't normally see this very often, but this is the sort of inside cut of a pine cone. And, it's kind of cool because it looks like a tree right inside. It's very, holographic. So very cool little inside of the pine tree here. Down here. This is a cool, I think it's called a sugar something pine cone. I mean, you can see it's big as my head. Very long. This one's still sticky. I've had this for several years. This is from Southern California. So I just want to show this one. Now, this one is my favorite. This feels like another child of mine. I've been somehow carrying this guy around for 40 years. Also from Southern California, one of the biggest pine cones I've ever come across. This is from Southern California as well, up in the mountains. This tree, you'll find pine cones like this, around some of the other areas, some of the areas around there, but are usually smaller than this. I've seen many of them. I used to have more. This is the biggest I've ever come across. And you can see it's as big as my head. So I've carried this around. I've used this in many meditations and for different events and things like that. Just a beautiful thing. Still sticky. These are very pointy, these tips. I forget the name. They do call these the Widowmaker. If these, fall on you out of a tree, you could be done for. So amazing big pine cone. One of my favorites here. And then one other thing I want to show and tell is my wizard staff back here. So this beautiful staff here, it's hard to fully capture it, I feel like, on the camera. But this is Manuka wood, and I got this on my adventure in New Zealand, 2020, 2021, as I said. And if you don't know, Manuka tree is a beautiful tree there, only New Zealand. I believe it's similar to the, I forget the name off the top of my head, the tree they make tea tree oil from. But you may have heard of Manuka honey. You can get it, I feel like a lot of grocery stores now have it with the honey. It's a very high quality honey. It's very delicious and also very high and some medicinal benefits. And so it's very expensive, and it's exported only from New Zealand, and has a lot of, like I said, a lot of health benefits. So this is a Manuka wood. This is actually a small tree, really. This was the roots of it, and then going up from there. So I got this when I was there at a small festival. A wonderful guy was crafting and selling staffs. This was the largest of them. Most of them were more like normal height, and I saw this big one. I was like, "Yep, that's the one for me." And then I got to lead a gathering, a sort of meditation event that night, and was using the staff, and it was quite fun. And so this staff's been all over New Zealand, and I was able to actually bring it back to the States. I had to check it in at the airport and have it all wrapped up in pool noodles. And the guys at the airport were like, "What is this thing you've got wrapped up here?" And I said, "Oh, it's a wizard staff." And they laughed. So it's been all over the New Zealand, and it's been on many of my adventures here in the States. And of course, I've gotten all sorts of magical trinkets to it. And I just love having that and carrying that around. So let me set it here. All right. So those are a few of my favorite tree special items that I have, magical items to me. All right. So onward we go. Now let me show you here again. Let me show you more about the Tree of Life map I've created. There we go. Apologies. Let me just find the screen with the images. Sometimes this program hides the screen. Let me, one moment. Let me close that and open that again. See if that does it. There we go. Okay. So again, you'll see the Tree of Life map I made, and you'll see here's the trunk. You've got all these realms. Each of these little spheres represents realms up in the branches and realms down in the roots. Now, these are the first 29 meditation journeys on the Inner Realms Journey platform. And if you haven't already, I invite you to go check it out, innerrealmsjourney.com, and you can start your journey for free. So what this is these are meditation journeys. They're audio guided with beautiful cinematic music and sound effects. And it's a powerful meditation journey, but it's also designed to be fun and like you're exploring, like you're playing this epic adventure game through meditation. And each meditation is the shortest one's about 10 minutes up to some of our longer ones are over an hour. Those are a little bit further along, once you've been practicing for a bit. But basically what you're going to do is in there, you get to meet me, the Elven Wizard, and then you create your avatar, which is, like I said, your mythical persona. And there's no limits or limitations there to what it is. I give you some ideas, and you go through this fun, meditative, creative process to really get in there and really come up with something that's really unique and powerful for you. And this becomes a really awesome guiding vision of yourself. From there, you get to create your inner realm sanctuary, which is kind of like your own realm on the Tree of Life. And your avatar, it's your avatar's home. And you get to develop that and create that. And that creates a foundation for you, a foundation for your exploration of the realms. It holds you. It's a space for you to go and be yourself. From there, you get to explore these different realms. And like I said, there's 29 on this map. At the making of this video, we've got about 50 or 60 and growing. Each realm has its own story, landscape, creatures, treasures, wisdom, opportunities for you to explore on your own and do your own thing there. Very powerful. Many people are having really amazing results, helping them understand themselves, helping them transform limitations and restrictions and pains and problems in their life. Um, I've had several people share that it's helped them reduce their anxiety, their stress, their depression, right? It begins to unlock what's within you. These realms signify kind of stuck components or locked away pieces within your own consciousness. As you explore them and open them up, it's like you're blossoming the tree of life, right? You're unlocking its potential within you. So it's a very powerful tool. It's called journey work in a way, to explore and journey to these different realms, open up their potential, and then it's all about bringing that back to the trunk, to your current day-to-day life. And our platform has all kinds of also fun trainings and quests and fun ideas and activities, as well as our community, to help you keep bringing back your experience into the realms, into your day-to-day experience. Okay. So again, check it out, innerrealmsjourney.com. We've been building this for the last couple of years, but really this has been my life's work, to integrate all these concepts, to integrate all these beautiful mythologies of the tree of life, but also to expand upon them, to kind of update them and grow them. So there's a lot of fun there, a lot of transformation, a lot of growth you can do. Now, I do want to say, because I love trees so much and want to see more and more trees in this world, one of my quests in this world is to reforest this world as best I can. And so with this, everybody that signs up, every membership plants a tree. Every year membership plants 12 trees. If you purchase one of our journals, and that's this book I've been flashing up here, and let me come back to that. This helps you keep track of your experiences through the Inner Realms Journey platform. If you buy one of these, that plants a tree. And you'll see here, as I explained, let's see if that'll work there. Yep. You'll see there's section for your avatar, your Inner Realm Sanctuary, that's the realm you create, your different allies you meet on your journeys, your treasures, your trainings, all other things you get to explore. This has beautiful artwork in it, and sections for you to write, about your creations. So we are aligned with a beautiful nonprofit called Tree Sisters out of UK, and they plant trees with our donations. We're doing some other work with them as well around meditation. So it's all connected, right? So my idea was, as people come in and become empowered in their life and transform their lives, they're also planting trees, and we've got it set up. You get a tree magic point. Every subscription, every journal purchase, we've got some other things in there. You get a tree magic point. Every tree magic point plants one tree. So by helping yourself, you're also helping the world restore its forest. As you explore the tree of life, you're bringing more trees to this world. So that is the summary of the tree of life. I hope that gave you a better understanding of some of the concepts of it and the framework of it. I invite you to go see a tree today. Go sit by a tree. Maybe check out innerrealmsjourney.com, put it on your headphones and sit by a tree and listen and go on a journey. Let the tree hold you. Of course, there's so much science coming out as well about the aliveness of trees and how they communicate, and their ability to connect with the life forces around it. So explore the trees, explore the tree of life. Reach out if you have any questions. Let me know your experiences down in the comments about the tree of life, what you love about it, your favorite mythology, and just go hug a tree, meditate by a tree, plant a tree, and explore the tree. All right, my friends, thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you again in another video, or hope to see you exploring the realms. All right, take care. Bye now.